Greetings, fellow brewers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of a new series playing Abbey. If you would like to skip the game's overview, please use YouTube chapters. Abbey is a game where you build and expand your monastery, craft recipes, and brew holy ales in this unique brewery Tycoon game. Supply beer for the local cities, cater to seasonal trends and cultural preferences, enter beer brewing competitions, and deal with the impartial judges. It's an addictive hidden gem of a game, and let's get brewing. This series, of course, will be a let's play and tutorial. Alright, name our Abbey. Monastery of Saint Yoda, because of course. Oh, your maltiness, you finally arrived. Welcome to Abbey, the monastery of the Fermentine Order. I'm Brother Maltus, your appointed counselor. Together, we're going to make brewing history. Don't worry, I'll guide you through the first steps. So, let's get started. I'm going to leave the tutorial on and run through it with you guys. It's not very long. To inspect your monastery, move the camera around WSD or hold the right mouse button. Zoom in and out with mouse wheel. Double click on a room to zoom in on it. You can change the game speed up here. And that is the controls tutorial. Pretty simple. You will occasionally get orders, and the orders come in from the top left over here. Well, we finally made it. Never thought we'd need a bishop all the way up here. Oh, hello. I usually avoid fanfare, but it's always nice to have a welcoming committee. Now, let's skip the small talk. I'm here to make sure the clergy is handled and our local interests are kept in check. Interest being beer. You know, beer. And tithing the beer, but mostly beer. The monastery looks reasonable, but we can do better. I'll oversee, manage, direct, and at times demand. Off you go now. I have some serious pondering to do. Oh, your maltiness. To expand your holy brewing mission, we need florins, and for that we need to sell ale. We don't know how many styles yet, so we can keep it simple. Or rather, we don't know many styles yet, so we can keep it simple. Let's whip a recipe for light ale. Perfect for this hot spring. Oh, I'm parched just thinking about it. Now, off to the library. Time to find us a desk. So first task, we build a recipes desk in the library and create a recipe of light ale style. And we'll get 120 florins as a result. So if we zoom in, this is the brewery. And also, before I forget, I'm going to be naming the employees after initially my Patreon patrons, but then afterwards, after you guys. So we have Merps and Aggro. And they have different stats: intelligence, intuition, productivity, satisfaction, and drunkenness. And this determines their work productivity. All right, so if we zoom all the way in, you can see the library is here. And we click this furniture icon, or alternatively, you can go to the furniture placement and then select library in the subtypes. And we want a recipes desk. Boom. Create a recipe with the light ale style. So we click the recipes desk and hit new recipe. To start a new recipe from scratch or use the existing one. Existing one comes in a tech unlock later on. Select the style, select the ingredients, decide who's going to develop the actual recipe itself, and that is going to be determined by their stats and also by their satisfaction, and then name the recipe and commence development. So, we're creating a light style, and the quality range is somewhere between 0 and 10, and all of beers have different virtues of flavor, color, strength, and foam, and different types of beer will have different targets. With that said, there is still a reason to have things outside of the norms, because it might have special properties that you want, which is up here. And then the typical ingredients. So, light ales require pale malt and standard yeast, at least one apiece. And when we add both, as you can see, the flavor, color, and strength are 0, and the foam is, well, 0. So that's going to be a really awful beer. Obviously, it's going to be a quality between 0 and 1 as a result. So let's fix that. If we add, like, let's see. If we add 4 pale malt and 2 standard yeast, it all falls within the green here. Now, in terms of like min-maxing your profits, the fewer ingredients you use, the cheaper it will be. So keep that in mind that sometimes it's better to have beers that don't hit all the marks because production costs will be lower. It depends on what are your driving factors for quality or for profit. I'm going to mostly side on quality. I want to make really nice beers because churning out swill like your Coors or Bud Light or whatever, yeah, that's not for me. All right, so now we have the ingredients and the scores. And up here you can see that like each pale malt adds 0.4 flavor, 0.3 color, 1 strength, 0.5 foam, and all these factors eventually add up to the 4 virtues of the beer. All right, next. Then we select who is going to write up the recipe. And as you can see, there is a quality boon based upon their intelligence and current satisfaction. So the happier your people are and the smarter your people are, the better recipes they make. Drunkenness has no impact. Your monks will often drink from your own supply. You basically supply them beer to keep them happy. And they'll like pass out drunk in the middle of the rooms and forget what they're doing and whatnot. But luckily, that's not the case. So Merps, as you can see, is more intelligent than aggro. So Merps is going to be our recipe creator. Next. And then enter the ale name. So this is going to be Merp Ale. I am so creative. All right. I'm going to unpause the game. And Merps here is going to walk up to the Merp Ale writing desk and create the recipe. And things get, might I say, a lot more complicated as time goes on. It's a truly addictive game. So if this seems very simple, it is. This is the tutorial. Naichi, thank you for the cheer. And Shona for the resub. Glitch for the cheer, Rexy and Sakura for the resubs. Kilgore for all the gifted subs. All right, so we click here. You can see the green check marks. It's because we completed it and we are rewarded florins. In the top left, we have our florins here. We've got fame, we've got comfort, which is like how nice your monastery is, which keeps your employees happy. How many rooms and max rooms, research points, which comes in later. How many employees, and then the average employee happiness of all your employees. All right. So the next part of the tutorial. Here it is. I expected birdsong and nature's peace, but instead it's murmuring, wailing, and snoring. Yep, it's a monastery. This has to stop. Find your fermentines a proper place to sleep, or I'll lose my mind. And no, floors don't count, no matter how fancy. For the love of hops, build a dormitory with beds for these poor souls. They'll thank you, and so will I. So build a dormitory and build a bunk bed. So we go to build rooms, dorm. And here, as you can see, we can place the dorm wherever we want. And I'm planning on having the living be on the left and the brewing be on the right. So I'm going to put the dorm here. Once the dormitory is built, then we can put furniture inside the dorm. The dorm has to be built first, and you can see the back wall indicates that it is under construction. Because for tonight, my people are sleeping on the floors, and that's going to make them unhappy. Basically, they have like moodlets, and moodlets determine their satisfaction, and satisfaction determines their like work speed and quality of work. So making sure that they're happy is kind of important. So here is aggro. I wish I had a comfy place to sleep. Or I am so hungry I could eat a cow because I don't have a factory for them to eat. But that comes soon. So here we go, bunk beds. You've completed the dormitory tutorial, and I got 150 florins. Perfect. All right, next task. The time has come, your maltiness, to brew our version of ambrosia. Set up a brewery with a boiler and a fermenter. Instruct a brewer on how to wash their hands and leave them to it. Pick any recipe you like. I'm eager to see if everything I heard about your brewing prowess is true. So build a brewing stove, a fermenter, brew a light ale, and sell it on the market. And we get florins and fame. So over here in the brewery, we'll put down a brewing stove, a fermenter, click either on, it doesn't matter which one, but they'll do the stove first. New brew, Merp's Light Ale. And then here is an interesting game mechanic. Each person has a different chance for quality rolls. So it's sometimes useful to have all of the people that you potentially will brew with attempt to make it, because they'll get a quality roll that then sticks with them. So they do have some base rolls here. Agro's intuition about how to brew good beers is higher than Merp's. But because Merp's was the one that came up with the recipe, I'm going to have Merp's try it to brew it first. All right, then we select the quantity. I could go max, and we're going to be selling it on the market, so I might as well go max. And this type of light beer is in very high demand for Hopfendorf. So pan brew. And now we're going to brew a light ale. Now, other game mechanics. Your people like to have illuminated workplaces. So right now up here, as you can see, it has 85% lit. If I put a candle here, it will be more lit more of the time. If you put candles in the back walls and cover up windows, it will be less lit. So I'm just going to put some candles around. Dormitories don't really need light so much. I mean, you can put them in there, which I will, but because they'll complain about being in dark rooms. And then there's also like comfort, and that we'll get into that a bit later. So when it comes down to the quality of the beer, there's a lot of modifiers, but the first two that we're introduced in is the quality of the recipe, and then the quality of the first batch, essentially. So if you want to brew better beers, you stack up all these like quality modifiers, and there's also like furniture and bonuses, and it gets a lot more complicated from there on. So here we go. Merps has finished the brew phase, or the cook phase, and now they're doing the ferment phase. Now, if you ever want to see your recipes, you go into the archive, and here's Merp's Ale. And we don't yet know the quality of Merp's Ale brewed by Merps. And how about this? I'm going to start naming stuff after you guys. So here's a little raffle timer, and I'm going to be naming the name of our library, dormitory, and brewery after you guys. It's not that significant, but, you know, figure why not. So, where is the raffle timer? Did I hit it? Huh. Because there's a vote time. Okay. Oh, I see. I screwed up where it's physically located. It's like impossible to see. Good job. I like crushed the overlay. All right, let me fix that right now. And somehow I didn't notice while setting this up. All right. We also, your events are down here on the bottom left. So we have new people to hire. So we've got someone who's like dumb, a little intuitive, and horrible on labor. Slightly better, smarter. I'm not going to hire anyone just yet, but all those people look like duds. All right, let me try to fix this timer issue while I stream, because, you know, that's totally a thing I wanted to do. And then I'll need to put out a test poll. As you can see, I totally... Okay, yeah. Totally properly prepared. Yep, that's me. Alright, that's good enough. So there's the other event logs on the top right of, like, what has recently been happening. So here is we wrote Merp's Ale, and then we brewed Merp's Ale. So if I click the ale here, it reveals that Merps brewed it at a quality 19, which is acceptable. Then we select the market that we're selling to. So all of these towns in the background are markets to be unlocked. And the way to unlock markets is you will continue supplying the cities until your reputation grows. And when you hit milestones, you'll unlock like brewing competitions and new types of beer and new markets to sell in and new missions and all that kind of stuff. Here you can select the sale price, and I want to keep people happy. You know, I'm brewing for love, so I'm going to make sure that there's high appeal. I don't necessarily want them to be euphoric about it, because if I make it too cheap, they're going to get drunk and die. I'm making that up, of course. So up here we have the affluence. The affluence will affect the price of the beers that you sell. So like poor towns should have cheaper beers. You've got the population, so how big your your consumer base is, and then how long it takes for that ale or whatever beer that you brewed to actually travel there. And there's a whole research tree about unlocks. Then we have the quality of the ale, how much ale we brewed, which was 100 liters, and the price point. All right, sell. Then what's happening is they collect it, shove it on a cart, and bring it to market. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to immediately brew Merp's Ale with aggro to see if aggro has a higher roll on Merp's Ale than Merp's. And there we go. We completed the ale market tutorial and gained florins and fame. So now we're up to 1 or 2 fame. Oh yes, I'm famous now. Alright, next mission. Ale and faith are necessary, but your fermentines can't live on spirit alone. Sure, they could cook, but we need them focused on brewing. So let's find someone to handle their meals. It's a dull task, but if you build a refectory and properly equip it, a volunteer will surely step up free of charge naturally. So new room. I am going to put the refectory over here. And we're going to put a cooking stove and a dining table in there. And then maybe some lights. Come on. Here it is. So, cooking pot. Dining table. And light. Receive florins. Perfect. Alright, what is the next stage of the tutorial? Now that your fermentines' bellies are full, there's no excuse, time to focus on brewing. Remember, ale is the only path through our monastery that thrive, both spiritually and, if I may add, financially. It's only by brewing it that we can lift up the fermentine order. Throughout our lives, we must brew, and brew we shall, over and over again. So brew a light ale and sell it on the market, and lucky for me, I'm literally in the process of that. Alright, the name of my dining hall is the Big Brody. The Big Brody Refectory. The name of the dormitory is the Sakura Dormitory. I'll try to make it look like cherry blossoms in there. The library is the Fangface Library. We'll have to make that look creepy if we can. And then, of course, the brewery, which is the Kilgore Brewery. Oh, yes. Love it. Love it. Alright, your brewers will get bored of brewing the same thing over and over and over again. But, because the satisfaction moodlets of my current people are rather low, it's not the time to try to make a new recipe, because having them be happier would be better. Other hotkeys. K. Oh no, I don't have access to that yet in the tutorial. Never mind, I lied. Alright, here it is. And the quality is a 12. So obviously, Merps brews it better than aggro. So if we take a look at when we sell this beer, and I go to the new brew, as you can see, we have a 17 and a 12. So Merps had a quality range of 4 to 34, and aggro of 4 to 34, and Merps rolled a 16, and aggro rolled an 8. So aggro has a higher quality bonus of +4, but he just rolled lower, and that's going to be a forever thing. So basically, Merps should always make Merps Ale because she rolled a higher base modifier. So do it. And Bishop task complete. Got my florins. Next task. Build a laboratorium. Build an escritory in the laboratorium and assign a fermentine to an escritory. I will warn you. I have not figured out a way to fire anyone from the laboratorium. So the laboratorium is essentially your research room. And I don't know if it's a bug or not, or I'm just too dumb, but I'm going to put that over here. Basically what happens is when you queue up research at a laboratorium, your researcher will like perpetually do research at it. But because they're always working and always have queued up work, you can't like fire them. I don't know if it's a bug or not. But so be it. And then once... Oh, right now they're euphoric. Oh yeah, you're real happy. So I'm going to try and have Aggro make a new recipe. So he's going to make a light ale because he's real happy right now. So I'm going to have him make a light ale that's a little more than Merp's. Has a little bit more flavor. And believe it or not, it's going to be called Aggro Ale. Eventually I'll give them like goofier names. Don't you worry, it will happen. So here's the laboratorium. And we're going to want to place an escritory in there. The escritory is the like research building. And then a little bit of light. Done. And I would like to perchance hire someone new for this role. So you've got... So if you mouse over, as you can see, intelligence mostly drives the research points. Intuition is the chance for special traits in a recipe. And brewing quality. And also negotiation with the merchants. Productivity is how fast they complete their tasks. Contentment is how easy it is for them to, like, stay happy. And then drunkenness is how often they will get drunk. So this guy has the highest intellect of all the people that we currently have offered. Merps is technically higher. With that said, I would rather have my researcher be the second highest smartest, because you want your smartest person to be your recipe maker. Because the recipes that you make are more important than the research speed, in my opinion. So we're going to hire this guy. And as a result of hiring him, we are going to need more bunks. We are going to need more dining, which I don't have money for, so like, ha ha ha. And then we're going to assign him to the research. And done. Florins and fame, which allows me to actually get the dining table. Perfect. Okay, your maltiness. As esteemed as it may be, our monastery has begun accumulating character. Dust bunnies the size of pilgrims are gathering in the corners, and the refectory floor is now more littered than stone. We're in dire need of a maintenance locker. Research how to build it and get this place cleaned up. So research monastery maintenance, build a maintenance locker, and clean the refectory. I'll get money for it. So if you go to research, which is R or this button, you accumulate up to, I think, 400 research points at max, and you can spend it. So we're going to unlock Monastery Maintenance, which unlocks the maintenance locker. Done. And then we're going to want to build a maintenance locker, which is a piece of furniture. And I'm going to put the maintenance locker in the... Ooh, right next to the cooking pot in the refectory. And that allows us to do clean. So we have two new buttons over here. Clean and lighting tool. So if you hit K for clean, because, you know, that makes sense. You can queue up sweeping to clean the floors automatically, as you can see. And then the lighting tool allows you to refill the candles, which will run low on light, and then your employees will be in the dark. Eventually, you unlock a custodian that does this for you. If you hire enough custodians, you don't have to worry about lighting and cleaning. but that comes later on. We got florins. And pretty soon here, as you can see in Hoppendorf, we are selling 146 liters of ale. So although I don't have a lot of money right now, it is going to be coming in soon. Plus we're doing another batch. Alright, new task. Much like everyone else, I feel the unbearable heat under these habits. I've come up with a solution. Cellars. We'll tell the clergy it's for the loggers. Cool temps, long-term storage, nobody would come looking. Actually, research will make it even more believable. Research cellars and their barrels, and let's start construction right away. So the next project is to research cellar, which is 25 research points. So once I hit 25 up here in the research points, we'll unlock cellars and build a cellar underneath. All right, Aggro Ale. So if we open up the archive, Aggro Ale has a lower max quality than Merp's Ale, so I'm probably not going to keep it very long, but we'll see. Usually I'll keep like the best of every type of brew, unless they have like special properties that I need. This will make sense later on. Is it possible to clean the outside area of the monastery? No. It's also like flowers, so cleaning flowers feels wrong. All right, here it is, Merp's Ale. Selling to Hoppendorf. Done. And now that they've cleared it, let's have Aggro try to make Aggro Ale, because maybe he'll make Aggro Ale better than Merp's Ale, and it'll be a net benefit to us. Oh, also I need to name the laboratorium, don't I? It's the Kadath Laboratorium. And this is what I was referring to. If you go to your employees... oh, and also I need to name Rymus. So, new raffle time rep for Rymus. But as you can see, I can't fire Rymus because he's currently working and cannot be fired. But if you go to the Escritory... Oh, it worked! Normally it doesn't. Oh, okay. Maybe they fixed a bug or something. And it, like, patched overnight. So I take back everything I just said. Because before, you weren't able to remove them from the Escritory. So they were stuck researching all the time and you can never reassign them. But I was wrong. I just removed them, so ignore what I said. And there we go! We sold 79 liters of ale this week for 244 florins. I am very happy about that. Good night, my sweet. Alright, Aggro Ale. And it's 28 quality. That's pretty good. So if we take a look, here, he makes Aggro Ale at 28, and he makes Merp's Ale at like what was it? What did he make Merp's Ale at? 13? Yeah. So you definitely need to try things out and experiment. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have Merps try to make Aggro Ale, see if he can't make Aggro Ale better than Aggro. And we are still chugging along, trying to get cellar research. And cellar research is quite important because it also allows your monks and nuns to consume their labor, if you will. All right, batch of Aggro Ale's been delivered to Hoppendorf. And because I've been delivering stuff to Hoppendorf, as you can see, I've now hit a new threshold, right? As we built up our reputation in Hoppendorf of being a good brewer. And this is what we've been offered. Your maltiness. We've got a tiny Hoppendorf's attention, all right? A smaller market, certainly, but we could flatten their orders, bringing them new ale style. Something light, easy to drink, and affordable. A blonde ale, perhaps? So create a recipe with at least 2 virtues in the yellow range and brew 100 of it for blonde ale. Got it. I'm going to wait to do this until I have cellars, though, so that my people are a little bit happier, because the happier they are while they are doing their work, the better the recipe is going to come. So here we go. Research in cellars. Done. First thing that we want to do is build a staircase downstairs. And I'm going to build 2 of them, actually, on one on either side. And then, once the staircases are done, we're going to build a cellar here. Agro Ale is also 28. So both of them rolled... I guess, actually, she rolled higher than he did in terms of luck. Because he has better base stats. So if we take a look at Agro Ale, roll 27. Oh no, they both rolled the same. I guess they have the same intuition now. So they're like identical to one another. Except for she infects beer at a lower chance. So she's technically the better brewer now. Alright. I don't think I'm going to be keeping whatever we brew that has 2 yellow virtues. So let's go make a new recipe. So we're going to make a light ale recipe. And it needs 2 yellow virtues. So I'm going to make it extra tasty and flat. Oh no, maybe... Here we go. It's extra strong, extra tasty. And we'll have Merps write it up. She's smarter. And this is going to be the blonde unlocker. Because I know for a fact that this beer is almost certainly going to be a temporary thing. So I'm not going to keep it around very long. Alright, new employee is Dom. Now that we have the cellar, we can put casks in the cellar. Got some florins for it. And the advantage of the casks is it allows you to drink your own supply or to barrel age your own supply. Every day we take steps in the right direction, yet our fermentines still seem somewhat preoccupied. And we both understand that for our beers to stay bubbly, our brewers need to be too. With cellars up and running, why not fill a barrel with brew and give them full access to it? After all, an empty barrel is the cost that weighs heavily on both wallet and soul. That should put a foam stash and smile on their faces. So store ale and mark it drinkable for them. So the ale in the cellars sometimes aren't marked as drinkable. Sometimes keeping ales in your cellar provide passive bonuses. Sometimes they need to be barrel aged. Sometimes they shouldn't be drank because it will like make you're using that for tribute, or it makes people sick or something. There's a bunch of reasons not to do it. So now we have this new recipe called the Blonde Unlocker, which I need to brew 100 of. It has a max quality of only 23, so this is probably what we're going to stick in the cellar. Right now, Merps has really low satisfaction, so she's not going to have really good modifiers for brewing, so I'm going to give it to Agro to brew, and we need to brew 100 of it. So there we go. Unlocking Blonde Ale. And then we're going to store the Blonde Ale in the cellar and mark it as drinkable. Am I able to remake light ale recipe to get the higher roll? Yeah, you can make as many recipes as you want. All it costs is some labor. All right, now that we have a little bit more research points, let's go ahead and get faster learning experience so our employees level up faster. Sanitation to reduce ale infection chance by 10%. And then the last one is reducing the boiling phase of brewing by 1 day, which would be nice. And these are, so the way these works, these are major. So quick rebrew allows you to like rebrew whatever you just brewed. And then creative pairings allows the possibility to add out-of-style ingredients, which is also really nice to make certain brews. And then you can also unlock furnishings, and we're going to be unlocking furnishings soon because our comfort is right now 17%, driving our average satisfaction lower. So I think the goal right now is to try to have a more satisfied workforce so that they can produce better quality stuff. Oh, and the cellar. This is the Skeller cellar. Oh my god, it's crypto cellar. Great. It's where the bones are. So he is just about done brewing our blonde unlocker. Here is quality 20. And instead of selling it, I'm going to store in the cellar. So now we're going to bring it to the cellar. So the first task is unlocked. I've unlocked blonde ale. And then the second task is unlocked when I click this. Mark an ale is drinkable by the fermentines. So now that is also done. Satisfaction of all fermentines have gone up. Which is, I believe, their... No, not contentment. It's their base satisfaction modifiers. Next, the monastery is running more smoothly by the day, but those whispers in the corridor persist. Nothing we can't fix. It's about your brewer's comfort. A luxury we could skip, but why not splurge if it makes things run better? This is a golden opportunity to seize it. So research paintings, globes, and flower vases, and ensure the comfort of at least 31%. And I'll get fame and satisfaction for that. So if we go to furnishings, it did not say locker. So small painting, yes. Globe, yes. And I need to save up for the flower vase. So the globes get put in the Fang Face library. And as you can see here, the globes have a benefit of satisfaction. So this value continuously impacts the satisfaction of all fermentines in this room. So basically, as they walk through the library, they will become more satisfied because of the globes. And while I'm thinking of satisfaction, let's clean up a little bit, because stuff's dirty. And a dirty brewery makes bad beer. Alright. And as you can see, our comfort's gone up from like 17 to 19. And the name of the game here is to essentially just make everything more comfortable. So let's go to furniture. We've got small paintings. Now the trouble with the small paintings is they will cover up the windows here. So this, the bedrooms here are going to be best for the flower vases, which we will unlock tomorrow. Because if I put small paintings there, the room gets darker, and that's no good. I could put a small painting over the cook pot though. So maybe we'll put a small painting there, and then another candle, and a small painting here, and then in the back wall of the brewery as well. Well, that one's really small. In the back wall of the brewery to not cover up the windows. So, comfort's up to 28%. We're getting pretty close to that 31% threshold. And once I get the globes, we'll get all the way there. And here, as you can see, they've already drank 6 liters of the blonde unlocker. Speaking of the blonde unlocker, I'm going to delete it. I'm also going to delete aggro ale. So we're only going to have merp. Actually, you know what? Let's get... Now that satisfaction's going up, I'll probably end up having them make a new recipe. Which will be higher quality because I've, like, supplied more comfort and satisfaction on average. So the last thing we wanted to unlock is the flower vase, which is research 5. So we're going to get that any second now. Looking over Dom's shoulder there. There we go, flower vase. And with this flower vase, we can, let's see. vase there. And that apparently is enough, but I'm going to keep going. Because more satisfaction is better. But there we go. Florin's fame satisfaction. Your maltiness. You too may have noticed that my recent odd tasks had not been thrust upon you as challenges, but rather as ways and means for you to find your footing. This final task marks the end of that little tactic of mine. Rest assured, you'll see more of me in the future. I'll return with new requests, this time better suited to your growing skills and the current state of the monastery. Whether you choose to take them on will be entirely up to you, though I dare say the rewards might be too tempting to ignore. Until then, keep up the work. Excellent work, sorry. Yes. Excellent work. Thank you for tuning in to Abbey, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video, if you even read it. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow monks.